Hey team, Kat here. I hope you are doing amazing. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 costly content mistakes most coaches make and what to do to avoid them. So welcome. If you're here live, welcome. It's so great to have you here. Those of you who show up every week, I'm so grateful for you. If you get this right, if you learn how to overcome these content mistakes, your audience will grow with raving fans who love you and hang out for your content and really enjoy your content, whether that's via blog, email, Facebook Live video, Instagram stories, wherever you show up, people will really enjoy it and look forward to your content. People will reach out to you in the DMs and reply to your emails and respond to what you're doing. And you'll attract more of your soulmate clients consistently and fast. So ultimately you'll be able to get booked out with coaching clients so that you can focus on doing what you love. So before I dive into the mistakes, I just want to share with you that this is a little piece taken from my workshop that's coming up next week. For those of you who haven't heard already, I'm running a workshop on the 5th, 15th and the 19th of August next week, next Tuesday and Saturday. It's called How to Get Coaching Clients with Easy Marketing. And I'm showing you exactly how you can easily attract quality clients fast and consistently. And I'm sharing my signature unique client attraction formula where you can do this elegantly, effectively, and enjoyably. So there is an easier way to do marketing. There's an easy way and there's a hard way. There's a way that feels icky and pushy and like bro marketing, and it just feels very aggressive, and it's none of that. It's a really beautiful way to get clients. So just pop the word workshop in the comments now if you're interested, and I'll get the details out to you. So let's dive into these content mistakes. Grab a pen and paper or open a document and start taking some notes. And please do interact in the comments if you're here. I love hearing your thoughts. I love hearing from you. So if you're here live, actually, if you don't mind just popping a hashtag live in the comments right now, if you're with me here right now, live, or type a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, and I'd love to know what you get out of this video. It's really great to have you here. So here are the mistakes that could be preventing you from getting clients with your content. Number 1, you don't share strategic client getting content. You don't share strategic client getting content. There's a difference between posting for posting's sake, and because we feel like we have to post content. Like, you probably get that we all need to post content if we want to attract clients online. We need to be posting written content, and we need to be sharing video content as well. So both of them I recommend. So you probably realize that, but you may not be strategically intentional around those pieces of content and what the job of those pieces of content is. So every piece of content needs to have a job or a purpose. Everything that we do in business, when it comes to marketing, needs to have a purpose. So we start with the end in mind. What's the purpose of that piece of content? A lot of people will start creating content without having a purpose in mind for that piece of content. And it's not strategic. It's not intentionally strategic in a way to get clients. Now, I'm not talking about selling on social media. I'm not talking about that. You'll notice that I very rarely sell on social media. I give, and then I'll make an invitation, and then I'll give a whole lot more, and I'll make another invitation. But most of my content is providing excellent value. It is inviting people to the next step if they want to know what the best next step is for them. It might be download a free resource, come to a free event. So it is giving a whole heap of value to people so that they really understand what I do as a business coach, as a trainer, as a mentor, and they understand my methodologies and the way I do things and the processes and principles that I recommend. But when I'm sharing free content, obviously I'm not revealing all of the details on how to do it. I'm strategically giving certain parts of my methodology so that people can get to know it. But it's very strategic in showing you basically behind the scenes of how I operate so that you can see whether this is something you want to go further into. So strategic content basically is intentional. It's making sure that you know the purpose of your post. So if you think about your last 3 posts, what were the purpose of those posts? Was it to get more engagement? Was it to overcome a specific belief? Was it to overcome an objection? Was it to build more connection and rapport with your audience? But you want to make sure that your content has a strategic, intentional plan behind it, and where each piece of content fits into your overarching strategy. Because if your content doesn't have a purpose, it can't achieve the goal of attracting the right clients. And so there's so many things we need to share with people before they will invest money with us. And that's why you need strategic client getting content, and make sure that you're covering all those points. We don't overcome multiple beliefs in one piece of content. We typically we dive deeper into that belief so that people really understand it and it makes sense. You don't tell all your stories in one video. You don't share everything that you know in one post. That's why you need a content strategy. So people, I see a lot of people giving a lot of value in their content, but it's really only valuable if it shifts someone's perspective. So they think it's valuable, so they might be giving 7 tips, but people can Google tips. People can look up how to on Google. It's the most searched term. So we want to not just give all these how-to tips, we actually want to shift someone's perspective. And that's part of what being strategic is. When you're giving all this value, but you're never actually shifting someone's belief, then your content is just kind of contributing to all the tips that are out there. So we want to have a content journey that leads your audience from one step, say a social media post, to the next step, maybe giving them something else of value, or maybe getting their email address, so that it's all connected into a journey and not just kind of like random little pieces. We want to make sure that that you're not just sharing on social media, but you're actually using social media to bring people into your email database, because email addresses are gold. People who opt in are a lot warmer because they have said yes to you already. So there's that connection that's formed, and we need to nurture those people with more relevant content. I get hundreds of people opening my emails, and I'd never be able to get that kind of reach organically using social media. So you want to think of your content as a way to get people's email addresses or invite them into the next step. And that way you're being really strategic with your content. So that's number 1. Number 2 is not sharing brain-based content. Not sharing brain-based content, which is based on how the brain works, how the human brain works. And so a lot of people are trying to influence people to take them up on their call to action, but they don't actually understand how the brain works. If you don't understand how the brain works, you won't be able to influence anyone. So I always love the analogy of an iceberg. It's such a cliche, but it's just a classic. It's so easy to remember. You think of the water, the part of the iceberg sticking out is maybe 10%, and that's the conscious, logical, rational mind. And then below the water is the 90% or 95% of the iceberg, which you can't see, and that's the subconscious mind. And so we need to learn how to speak to the subconscious mind in our marketing, because this part of the brain is responsible for making decisions. And our content needs to get people to actually make decisions, actually inspire people. So we need to speak to different parts of the brain in a specific order. It also goes in an order. So I'm going into a lot of detail in this in my workshop, where I'm explaining the parts of the brain and how to speak to them in your content. I'm going to give you a quick overview here. So the hindbrain is the oldest part of your brain. That is the very first thing, that part of the brain that comes across your content. So someone's scrolling on their phone, they're using their hindbrain because it's quick, it's fast, it's making fast decisions that aren't logical and rational. So when someone's scrolling, they're automatically, without even thinking, they're looking for things that are going to light them up and get them to stop the scroll. And this is not a logical thing. So the hindbrain, the base of the brain, the reptilian brain, the lizard brain, the croc brain, whatever you want to call it, it's scanning for certain things. And it stops on something when it's valuable enough for you to pay attention. So you will stop on something when you think, oh, this is going to be valuable enough for me to get a good return on investment of my time of actually looking at that thing. And we need to speak to the hindbrain at the start of our content. When we open our videos and in the first few lines of our content and emails, it's so important that we speak to the hindbrain. The hindbrain is simple. It avoids boredom. It avoids complication. And it loves specificity. So it doesn't really respond to broad things like, do you want to up-level your life and fulfill your potential? Too vague, too wishy-washy, too boring, too done. So when you grab attention, it can't be boring. It can't be complicated because that part of the brain is simple. And we don't want to ask a big, long question where someone's like trying to get their head around it. Nah, scroll past. We're very impatient when we're operating from our hindbrain. It's survival mode. It's instinct mode. The next level that we go to is our midbrain, which is the realm of the imagination. And so we need to make sure our content is getting people to create a picture in their mind. We're dealing with the part of the brain that is responsible for imagination, desire, emotion. And so we're speaking to that part of the brain with our content. A lot of people, they just ignore that part of the brain. They just use logic all the way. They don't even get engagement. People don't even stop because their posts don't grab attention. They're too vague, too fluffy, too wishy-washy, too complicated. And so the person scrolled past. But if you do manage to grab attention, we keep it there and keep people engaged by engaging the midbrain, the imagination, the desire, the emotion. And then the third part that we get to is the prefrontal cortex. This is the front of the brain. This is responsible for logic, rationale, structure. And so a lot of people are really logical and rational with the structure right at the beginning, but we're not talking to the prefrontal cortex at the beginning. We're talking to the hindbrain at the beginning. So it needs to follow that order. Our content always needs to go in that order. We start with the hindbrain, then the midbrain, then the forebrain, the prefrontal cortex. And so I know that that's just a snippet of it, but if you're not using brain-based content, meaning it's structured in the way that the brain works, this is probably a big reason why you're not getting the engagement, the likes, the comments, the shares, the DMs, people reaching out to you, people responding, people booking into your calendar, people coming to your events. You're probably missing one of these steps. Brain-based content, that's number 2. And number 3 is not sharing content that inspires people to take action. A lot of people don't use their content to inspire action with their followers. They don't know how to inspire action. I call this elegant influence. I'm a big fan of influence. You'll know that my business is called Amplify Your Influence because it's all about turning up your ability to influence and doing it in a way that's elegant. It is the ability to positively influence change in other people for them to improve the quality of their life. That's what influence is. It's not about manipulation. It's not about getting someone to do what they don't want to do or trying to convince people to do things or pushing your opinion on others. It's none of that. When you become truly influential, you influence people to make a positive change and make the world a better place. And I just find it amazing that you can use your content to influence someone to actually change the way they think. It's incredible. We have the power to do this. We have the power to pick up our phone and influence someone to change the way they think for good. The skill of influence. It will add value to every area of your life, not just your business, but particularly in your content and in your coaching. We want to encourage people not to just be passive consumers, but actually influence them to change, influence them to take a result, to take action to get a result from what they've read or what they've watched in our content. So if your content, it doesn't inspire people to take action, that it's not influencing them to move along the client journey, there should always be a next step. And a lot of people miss opportunities to do this because they don't know how, they don't have the skill. Every time you influence someone for good and move them along the journey, you're improving someone's life. So there's a real incongruency if you are not willing to actually influence someone to go to that next step. An authentic coach will always go all in on influencing someone to take action, to become who they want to become, to achieve what they want to achieve, to get what they want. For example, if you're a coach and you are not investing in coaching, there's a real incongruency, because it means you don't fully believe in the product of coaching if you don't use that product yourself. So we need to be able to influence people from a way of being authentic and actually influencing them by also being a role model in how we show up, not just telling people what to do, but actually inspiring them to take action by living it ourselves. An authentic coach who gets benefit from being coached will always excel as an influencer, as someone who influences others, over someone who's just teaching but not actually living it. People can tell when you're living it or you're just teaching theory. So that's the third one. So just a recap of the 3 mistakes. Number 1 is not sharing strategic client getting content. Number 2, not sharing brain-based content and speaking to the subconscious mind. And number 3, not sharing content that inspires people to take action. If you want to know how to do this, because when you do this, when you know how to do this, you're able to create compelling content that people want to consume. Your marketing becomes way more easier, way more faster, way more enjoyable. This is the easy way. And you show up with more confidence. You connect better with people. You attract more of the right clients into your business. And ultimately, you impact more lives. And so if you want to know how to do this, if you want a system that reliably gets you clients on repeat, I'm sharing my exact formula how to do it in my upcoming workshop, how to get coaching clients with easy marketing. And tickets are free for a limited time. I'm sharing the compelling content formula, which is how to craft your language in a way that speaks to the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, to rapidly build trust with people and inspire them to want to work with you. I'm sharing how to create a 24/7 marketing machine, which is a client attraction funnel that's only 4 steps. It's really simple. You'll get the whole template and framework on how to do that, and how to elegantly convert people using events, the right clients into clients, the right people into clients. So this is how to launch profitable online events so you can fill your calendar with great, amazing, high quality clients. So if you want to come to that workshop again and get the formulas and really dive deep into this, drop the word workshop into the comments right now, and I will get you the details of the workshop. I hope this has been super valuable, team. Thank you for being here. Those of you who are here live, and if you're watching the replay, please right now, pop in the comments, what's something that stood out to you? What's something that you enjoyed? What's something that you thought, hey, that's really cool, or that's a great reminder, or what's something that you got out of this video? Please share in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I will jump off and reply to your comments, and I look forward to seeing you at the workshop, those of you who are coming. So thanks for tuning in. Keep showing up, team. Keep shining. Keep sharing your message, because the world needs it. The world is waiting for your words. Big love. Bye for now, team.